Hey guys, okay, it's a friendly foe, and this is gonna be a really different video, right? I'm in my car right now, and you may not be able to hear me. I put the phone away on my seat, and people are gonna be looking at me weird because, you know, I'm talking out loud, basically, what looks to myself. What is myself? There's no one here. Anyway, I'm gonna be talking about my horrible, horrible day at work today, right? This is practically a normal day, but like, it's work, so you gotta complain about it, right? I'm 16, I'm working at McDonald's, and as you guys can tell from my last video, I'm working 40 hours. Today, I had to be there at 6 a.m., and I left at 2:30. What they do, and it's kind of bullshit, right? What they do is, once you reach 9 hours, they have to give you an hour break, right? You don't get that normal 30-minute break anymore. You get an hour break, right? I'm starting the car right now, I'm sorry. But they don't like giving hour breaks, because it's really sucky for a manager to be without a person, you know, for a solid hour. So, what they do, what these flippers do, they have you work like 8 hours and 59 minutes, right? So that way they say you don't have to get an hour break by like technical terms, because you're only working 8 hours and 59 minutes and you're not working 9 hours, right? That's what they do, and it's kind of bullshit and it sucks. And that's what they did to me today, right? So I got my 30-minute break around 9 o'clock, right? And that's okay. That's about 3 hours into my shift. Normally where it happens. Fuck my life. Normally where it happens, right? And then within the last 2 hours of my shift, I'll get my 10-minute break, which is just a rest break, right? Now, around 9 o'clock, I came back from my meal break, that 30-minute break, and I was eating peacefully. Or, I mean, I wasn't eating peacefully, but I came back. Oh my god, okay. There's a lot of cars coming right now on a busy road, and the person behind me is getting mad because I haven't gone yet. But it's okay. I would rather stay here 10 years than rather die. So, anyway, I came back from my meal break, and they put me on Backdrive. Backdrive at McDonald's is where you get your order taken and your, oh my fucking god. It's where you get your meal taken and your cash given, right? That's what happens at Backdrive. And Backdrive is normally the worst spot ever because you're standing in the same spot all day. You don't move. You literally have your computer in front of you. You don't move at all. So once you stand there for about even 3 hours, your feet kind of start to ache. 4 hours, your feet hurt. 5 hours, you know, you become in a bitchy mood because your feet are literally hurting. You feel like the pins and needles, right? So not a lot of people like to be back there. And so we have this 2-hour system, right? Where you go back there for 2 hours and then they'll switch you out. And then every 2 hours we kind of switch positions. Today we opened with 3 people. 3 people, okay? It was insane. Normally we're supposed to open with like 4 or 5, but they all called out, right? Every single one of them. So it was me, the manager, and a girl named, we're gonna call her Abby, right? And it was me making the food, making the drinks. I'm gonna bleep out her name, I accidentally said her name. The manager, right? Making the food, and then Abby running around and running across the store from back drive to front drive, from taking the orders to handing out the orders, taking the orders, handing out the orders, you know what I mean? It was absolutely insane. It was like that for about 2 hours until 8 o'clock until new people came in, you know? So it was just kind of a busy day off the start. And it was like that, and that's why they gave me my break at 9, because more people came in. An hour later, everyone got situated, and I was able to get my 30-minute break, and I used that 30-minute break wisely. I ate a lot. I had 2 burritos, a hash brown, and a large drink, right? It was amazing. Anyway, there's a bee in my car, Okay, he left. Anyway, I want to sit here and talk for a little bit, right? And it was nice. And I came back, and they were like, hey, Tony, we're putting you on back drive. Oh my god, people are pulling up behind me. This is going to be really embarrassing. They're like, Tony, we're putting you on back drive, right? And normally I'm like, oh, okay, because that 2-hour system isn't bad, right? It's just going to kind of get to the point where my feet are tired, and then I'm going to start walking around again, and then we're good. We're Gucci, right? I go on back drive. I relieve another girl. We're going to call her Samantha, right? I relieve Samantha. And she's like this 60-year-old lady. Bless her heart. She's so nice, right? I relieve Samantha. And I was like glad. I'm like, Samantha, you go up front, right? You walk around, you restock, do whatever you need to, right? Have a blessed time. Anyway, so I take that spot from her, and I do it gladly. And I'm back there, and my hour rolls around. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. My second hour rolls around, and I look over to go tell my manager, I'm like, hey, 2 hours is up, to see what everyone's doing. And the manager's not there. The manager has disappeared magically, right? Come on. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to kind of chill in this spot. I'll just continue doing back drive until something happens. Until I see the manager again, until someone comes relieve me, until, literally anything. And 30 minutes that passes, nothing happens. 40 minutes, an hour, another 30, so it's I've been back there for 3 hours. Nothing happens. 5 hours. It is now, actually, no, it wasn't 5 hours. Sorry, my bad. Because that was jumping the gun. I meant 5 minutes, right? I'm looking at the clock in 5-minute intervals because time is passing by slowly. My feet hurt. I'm tired. I'm done. I'm gonna turn off the car. Don't want to lose it. Right, my feet. Right. Okay. So I've been back there for about 3 hours now, and the manager is literally nowhere to be seen at all. And it's we're peaking rush hour, right? It's now I got my break around 9. It's 12 o'clock right now. We're getting busy. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get relieved anytime soon. I'm stuck here, which kind of sucked. That took a blow, right? And I'm not sad. I'm not upset or anything. I'm just kind of like, it is what it is. Oh, well. I've done this before because on busy days where we don't have everyone, I've done shifts where I've done back drive for 8 hours, an entire 8-hour shift, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever. It's fine. I've done worse. And I handle it. 1 o'clock rolls down, and we're busy. There's that first manager in the morning. She's disappeared, right? She's disappeared, right? She's clocked out. So we have 2 new managers. We're gonna call manager 1 Mindy, manager 2 Cinderella, right? So we have Mindy and Cinderella. Mindy's really nice. Cinderella can be mean sometimes, right? You just don't talk to her. You just don't get in her way, and you're good, right? Mindy's really nice, and she's she keeps coming back. She's like, are you good, right? And around 1 o'clock, she kind of stopped because, we're peak rush hour, right? She has to go up front. She has to help, lobby and, bag the food. And what we do is we have a system at McDonald's, and no one does it. Literally, no one. We've had this for about a couple months now, and no one does it. What we do is we have a new rewards program where you give us your 4-digit code, we type it in, and it gives us your name, right? And we're supposed to call you by your name. We're supposed, if you come through and your name is you give us your 4-digit code, and it's Rebecca, right? And we're supposed to be oh, hi, Rebecca, what do you want today? Alrighty, Rebecca, do you want the 4-piece Happy Meal with barbecue? We're supposed to use your name. I've done it 2 times. 2 times to do it for 2 different people, and both times I've gotten complaints about. Because it's weird. They gave me really weird looks. They squinted their eyes. They didn't want anything to do with me. And then later I found out that they reported me because they thought it was weird I was using their name. So I stopped using names, right? I just continued on using my normal job. Hi, welcome to Rich McDonald's. What can we get for you today? Alrighty, yada, 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 right? Normal stuff like that. The owner of our store, by the way, is named Diane, right? Anyway, that's important in 30 seconds. A girl comes through, and she gives me her code. Right, okay, mind you, we're supposed to ask for the code. No one does either because they're going to give it to us either way. When you pull up to McDonald's, we're supposed to be hi, welcome to Rich McDonald's. Will you be using the mobile app with us today? No one does it, right? Because you're either going to tell us it yourself or you're going to get to our window where we're just going to type it in for you to give the discount, right? So no one does it. Anyway, she pulls up to the window. She's like, hi, are you going to ask for my code? And I'm like, oh, yeah, already. What is your code? And she gives me her 4-digit code. And it pops up the forbidden name, Diane, right? I shit bricks. I'm scared. I'm nervous. I'm if this is the Diane, I'm getting fired on the spot because the managers aren't doing anything we're supposed to. We aren't expecting a visit from the owner. The store is dirty. It's just kind of all over the place, right? So I pull a manager and I call one of the managers. I'm haha, this girl's named Diane. Imagine if it's Diana. And she's stop, right? And she gets to the window, and ho and below, it's Diane. And she's there's cars everywhere. I'm talking to someone at the windows. I'm taking orders at the computer, right? It's busy. I don't have time to talk. And she's like, turn off the microphone. And I turn off the microphone. And she's like, what's your name? And I'm like, my name is Tony. And she's like, okay, Tony, what is my name? And I'm like, oh, it says here, your name is Diana. I'm just trying to play it off like I don't know. She's the owner. I'm bullshitting her. I'm lying straight through my teeth. Of course she knows I'm lying, right? So that instantly puts her into a pissier mood. She's like, okay, Tony, so since you know my name, by the way, I'm the owner of the store. You need to start using people's names. Okay, we've trained you. We've talked to you guys. If you have their names, you need to use their names. And not only that, but how do you greet people? I'm like, hi, welcome to, McDonald's. What can I get for you? And she's like, wrong. You need to let them know if you're going to be using the mobile order today, right? And she got, like, kind of mad. And I told the manager again, I'm like, that was Diane. What if she comes in, right? And the manager starts freaking out, right? Samantha, that mean man, Cinderella, that mean manager, she's like, you're lying. You don't know who it is. Like, I don't know who the owner is. It was the owner. She comes in. She yells at the GM. She's like, you don't know how to train your employees. And then she's like, why is your time this slow? Right? And she just basically stressed everyone out, and it made everything worse. So I messed up because the managers are now mad at me because I don't do the thing. Okay, sorry about that. My phone cut off. My phone cut off, so I'm sorry about that. Work has now ended a couple hours ago, right? I'm just back in the car because I have to go out and get some food. Not food, but pick up an order for my family. So I'm able to finish telling the story, and I've lost that work gusto, right? That makes, the after work rants so personal, right? It's been a couple hours, so that's settled. So I don't really remember much about work today. I kind of fell asleep. But yeah, no, the boss, Diane, came in, and I had messed up, right? I didn't ask for her code, I didn't say her name, and we were also very slow, so she was very upset about that. But because she was upset, she came in and made everyone else upset, including the GM and all the other managers. So when she left 30 minutes later, they were all mad at me, which was kind of, it's my fault. I don't ask her name. I should have definitely done it, even though everyone else doesn't do it. It doesn't give me the excuse not to, right? Anyway, my point is, it was a bad day at work, and then I continued to work on back drive for like the entirety of my shift, right? And what kind of peeved me off at the end of the day, what was the spectacular grand finale, wasn't the fact that I had been on back drive for 5 hours, was that we get 2 breaks, right? There's the meal break that's 30 minutes long, and then the rest break that's 10 minutes long. The rest break is very futile for your feet to heal after a long thing. Sitting down for 10 minutes can help quite a lot, right? So having said that, I got my 30 minutes, and that was nice. At 9, I got my 30 minutes at 9, and I'm waiting for my 10 around the last hour of my shift, right? Anywhere from there. I got off at 2:30, so I'm expecting to get my 10 minutes around maybe 1 o'clock, maybe even 12:30 at the earliest, 1:30 at like 2 at the latest, you know what I mean? Just anywhere around there to get my 10 minutes break, and I'm waiting. It's never coming. It never came. It reaches like 2:15, and I see one of my friends clock out for his 10, and I'm like, hey, you got here at like 11. I got here at 6. What's going on? And he's like, you got off at 3:30. And I'm all like, no, I got off at 2:30. What happened was that someone started the rumor that I got off at 3:30 and not 2:30. So the manager caught on to that and didn't give me my 10-minute break, right? And normally that's okay. Normally that's not a big deal. But I had been on back drive for so long that my feet were hurting, and I was just kind of peeved off. And then not only that, but Priscilla, one of the girls, right? She went to her fucking 10-minute break, and I was off at the time, right? And they were like, can you just wait for her to get back on her 10-minute break till you get off? So I had to fucking stay 10 minutes late for Priscilla to come back from her 10 because they hadn't prepared for me to leave at 3:30, which was very depressing. It was an eventful day, and I'm here at the food place now, so I'm going to stop recording, but there's a look into my day, and I hope you guys liked it. Oh, goddamn, what a stressful day.